Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Motorsport Park Oschersleben for the second race of the opening round of the 2022 Eastern European TCR. This is the race number 2, for which the grid is actually determined by the finishing order of race number 1, but with certain number of grid positions reversed, and that number is actually determined by a draw by the winning driver. It was the Slovakian driver Maťo Homola, victorious in race number 1. He got to pull a number, and unfortunately for himself, he chose number 10, which means that he is coming now all the way to the back there, somewhere to the mid-pack of the field, and he will be starting 10th. And it promoted the Croatian driver Žarko Knego to pole position. He was actually 11th on the road. However, there was a penalty applied, 2 penalties applied for other drivers for not respecting the track limits. But this now promotes Žarko Knego, who is still waiting for his first victory in the TCR Eastern Europe. Maybe the luck will be on his side for this time. Petr Čížek alongside him on the front row of the grid. And on row number 2, it's 2 cars of Aditis Racing. It is the previous generation Audi RS3 driven by Tobias Pošík. That's the black and blue car over there, the car that brought Bartosz Groszek to last year's championship crown. And alongside him, the hero of race number 1, Sebastian Steibl. Let's actually hear from the home hero.
Welcome to Oschersleben. My name is Sebastian Steibl. I race TCR Eastern Europe this year with a brand new Audi LMS TCR. And now I show you some special points from my side here on Oschersleben. Now we are here on my first favorite place here at Oschersleben. It's also the first corner here, and we do the fast variant this weekend here. And here it's important to get wide on the left side to get a good position for the next second corner, because that's a long right-hander, to get the good position and maximum speed for get out of the next straight. So now we are here on the most impressive part of the track, I think. Every driver talk about this corner, but there are 3 corners who melted to 1. We call it in Germany the triple left. Yeah, it's really tricky because you have short braking in the beginning, and then you have to go really fast through it, and also get in the next passage. It's a long right again, and to do have a really short way to brake for this corner. So now we are on another great place here at Oschersleben. It's the chicane. You come here out of a long right and a short straight, and you are good fast here, and you want to go also straight through the chicane. Don't want to move the car too much, and if you're touching the sausage, the car will go to 2 wheels and show some impressive moments on camera or so on. And after that chicane, there's also a right-hander. You want to go fast out of it because there is a long straight behind that corner. So that was an experience of my favorite places here at Oschersleben. Hope you enjoy it, and see you in the race. Bye.
And the drivers have already set off for the formation lap. 3.6 kilometers, that is the length of the Oschersleben racing track, and it is now the job of the drivers. They have to prepare the tires and the brakes so that they are at the correct temperature for the start of the race. The last thing you want to happen to you is not to have the tires and brakes ready and be vulnerable to attacks from behind, or unable to attack the drivers in front of you. We have got Žarko Knego on pole position, a Croatian driver He has already started from the reverse grid pole multiple times in his career. However, he's still waiting for a bigger success in the series. He's had lots of reliability issues in the past as well, also with the current generation Cupra Leon, but now all seems to be fine, at least for the moment. And simply the fact that Oschersleben is really difficult, it's a difficult place to overtake on, that gives Žarko a proper chance for a first big success. Alongside him, however, Petr Čížek. He switched teams for 2023. He spent the previous years racing for Fulin Race Academy. However, he has now teamed up with Víc Mejkal to form a new squad, Express Auto. Petr Čížek is unfortunately the only car on the track this weekend, as Víc Mejkal has some issues with his back, so he can't actually join the field for the season opener. Petr Čížek on the front row. He is also yet to win a race in the Eastern European TCR. He's already had successes in the past, but that first victory still slipping through his fingers. Row number 2, however, those are two promising youngsters on in third position. Tobias Pošík, last year's Renault Clio Cup champion, and he is starting with the previous generation Audi RS3, which he took over from last season's champion Bartosz Groszek, so a definitely proven race winner in terms of the car. Now Tobias Pošík also needs to put his name on the map on the TCR Eastern Europe. Alongside him, Sebastian Steibl, the local driver, joining Aditis Racing Team himself as well and driving the current generation RS3 Audi. Behind him, 5th place, Carlo Cepiel, currently the best placed Janík Motorsport Hyundai Elantra in the field. Alongside him, David Kajaya, a Georgian driver fielded by the newcoming team, actually, Mertel Motorsport. On row number 4, his teammate and local driver René Kircher, and alongside him Adam Koot. Behind them, Petr Fulin and race 1 winner Maťo Homola. The race is on, and Žarko Kněgo is trying to defend first position coming into the first corner, but look at Tobias Pošík already down the inside. Beautiful start from last year's Clio champion. Tobias Pošík is in the lead of the race coming into the first corner. Žarko Kněgo falling down to second, and alongside him Petr Čížek fighting it out with Carlo Cepiel for third, and behind them it already seems to be one of the Hondas, and also Adam Koot with Maťo Homola coming through. Petr Fulin seems to have had a, well, not that good of a start actually, as the Janík Motorsport Hyundais. He's also trying to move up the order, but it's not coming as easy for him. Sebastian Steibl, having made a wonderful start for race 1, is now much less successful. Oh, Žarko Kněgo sideways through the right-hander in front of the hotel. Really not putting enough temperature into the rear tires there, and sliding through that corner, losing places in the process. And one of the Aditis Racing's Audis across the grass, that was Steibl, who had a terrible start actually from the second row of the grid. So unlike in race number 1, he has been moving down the order. But it is his teammate Tobias Pošík leading the race, and look at that, that's Mertel Motorsports Honda Civic moving up the field. Žarko Kněgo being pushed down the order, and now it is Adam Koot through, it is also Maťo Homola through, and Žarko Kněgo losing places here and there. He's now also under pressure from Petr Fulin. Are they going to go 3 wide into the first corner? No, Petr Fulin needs to find another space to slip through, and he was blocked by Kněgo and also by Maťo Homola. So it does seem actually as if it is Adam Koot ahead of the 2 Hyundais. The car number 68, yes, that is Adam Koot, followed by Maťo Homola. Žarko Kněgo trying to fight back, but unable to do so, and he's now under pressure from Petr Fulin. Tobias Pošík leading from Carlo Cepiel, Petr Čížek third. Then in fourth place, it is the local man, René Kirche. And he has two further Yannick Motorsport Hyundais on his rear wing. That's Adam Kolt and Mathieu Homola. Petr Fulín has already managed to find his way through and past Žarko Kněgo. So Kněgo all the way down in 8th on lap number 2. David Kajaya only 9th from Adam Řepecký. Behind him, Giacomo Germandi, Sebastian Steibel all the way down in 12th. Ooh, and there's Kněgo off the track. Žarko Kněgo, a couple of minutes back, he was on pole, and now it's all gone away from him once again. So he simply can't catch a break, and the starts from pole position are extremely unlucky for him. And today's race at Oschersleben is no exception. Žarko Kněgo with a damaged car ending up on the grass, and there is already a fight between Fulín and it seems that that is Adam Kolt. Yes, so his teammate Mathieu Homola has already found his way through, and Adam Kolt, we had a quick chat after the race number 1. He said that he didn't manage to put enough heat into his rear tires early on. That means, well, that meant that he was sliding in the early stages, and then he probably destroyed his fronts too fast, and that meant he was unable to stage any further attacks in the closing laps of the race number 1. So Bošík still leading, but look at Karlo Čepiel. Karlo Čepiel, the Polish youngster, with the Hyundai Elantra in his hands. He was a little bit left in the shadow of his teammates in race number 1, but reverse grid order has poured new energy on him. And look at him. He's all over the back end of that Audi. It's going to be extremely difficult for Bošík. It's the previous generation Audi that's definitely not as well sorted as the new one, for example, electronic-wise. And that means that, for example, the engine drivability is currently much better on the Hyundai. So that is going to give crucial advantage to Čepiel, because it is sort of a stop-start stuff here in Oschersleben. You're going sort of back and forth through slow and mid-speed corners here in Germany. And drivability might be key here, because it is quite difficult to actually launch an attack towards the end of straights unless you start that overtake nicely and early on, which means that you actually crucially need good exits from corners. So that means you need good traction, but also good engine drivability. And if you've got that, you can then reach a key advantage along any straight here, and then you can find yourself in a much stronger position towards the end of any sort of straight here. So yes, you can overtake around Oschersleben, but the attack must be launched much sooner than is usual. So Čepiel shadowing Bošík. There they go through the S's. The race is still going to be extremely long for the young Austrian. He's doing absolutely everything he can, but of course he also needs to take care of the tires. If he destroys them too soon, then he will be an easy prey for the Polish opponent. But look at Čepiel, he's also sliding his Elantra quite a lot. Both of these cars appear very long. The RS3 actually being a sedan, but with a similar sort of baseline as most of hatchbacks, while the Elantra, that is properly long. It's 93 kilometers long, actually, the car. I measured myself. Pošík still trying to react to any sort of movement from the Polish driver. This is properly interesting. And we do get the sense that once the Hyundai is through, then Chepiel might be able to run away with it. The RS3 in the hands of Pošík. It needs to be said, it is already a little outdated, the car, but still. If you have a skillful pair of hands, then you can still do magic with it. We saw enough of that last year with Bartosz Groszek. Who can probably win on a tricycle if he must. Tobias Pošík, he was dominant last season in the Renault Clio Cup, and that talent, that speed must be shown this season in the TCR as well. Reverse grid order played to his advantage, and he made a wonderful start. There is Zizek fighting for the remaining podium position, which is definitely not going to be easy. We are not even 10 minutes in this race. No safety car just yet. Ooh, and there's already a fight for the race lead. Carlo Chepiel managed to find himself alongside Tobias Pošík into the first corner. Who is going to be later on the brakes? It is Carlo Chepiel, and Chepiel is now the new race leader. So it's the Polish driver. He has taken the better of Tobias Pošík and is now through. Carlo Chepiel leading the race. So just like last season, a fight between Yannick Motorsport and Aditis Racing for the race win. This time out, it is the Elantra prevailing so far after 10 minutes of racing action here at Oschersleben. Carlo Chepiel, the season debutant, is only on his second start. He's leading the race. Mistake from René Kircher. He went wide before the second to last corner. And Mathieu Homola is immediately through. So Mathieu Homola, having scored victory in race number 1, he is now well positioned for the fight for third, as he is now closing in on Petr Zizek. Also Petr Fulin in the fight with Adam Kout, just like in race number 1. Petr Fulin didn't get the best of starts into race number 1, and he dropped from the pole position to third, but then he managed to deal at least with Adam Kout and finish second on the road. Now he is trying to stay together with the Hyundais, with the Elantras, and force his way through the field. René Kircher out of position yet again. He left the door wide open on the inside, and Adam Kout is through. Now Petr Fulin will try to follow suit. Into the chicane there is not a lot that you can come up with. You just need to survive the dance around the sausage curves. And onto the back straight you go. Petr Zizek coming under pressure from Homola. Kout in 5th already. Behind him, the local man, René Kircher, and Petr Fulin. David Kajaya in 8th. Kajaya trying to have a look. Petr Fulín, but not really a lot that he could do with it. So Čepěl in the lead from Tobias Pošík, already a second and a half in the race lead. Petr Čížek, he's currently lost the place to Maťo Homola. Maťo Homola is through already. So there has been a swap of positions. And Maťo Homola is up in third. Still just under 11 minutes left from this race, so we have just about entered the second half of it. Still the pace is really good. Čížek down to fourth, and he will now come under pressure from Adam Kout. René Köche in sixth, trying to defend from Petr Fulín, but Fulín finding his way through in the second part of the left-hander, that is the turn 3. Köche left the door open, and although in the early phase of the turn-in it didn't... Oh, but Petr Fulín making a mistake and running wide in the triple left-hander, but still the next corner is actually correctly positioned for him. It's the longest right-hander you'll find there, pretty much, on the track. That played into his hands, and he stays in front of the German. Adam Kout, meanwhile, all over the back end of the Cupra of Petr Čížek. Well, the Cupra looks a little understeered to me, actually. So it's not really rotating around the corner as well as it should be. And Adam Kout looks clearly better poised through the corners, enjoying a tighter line and actually having a little more of his tyres left after each and every one of them. Čížek is now very wide on the exit after the chicane. Through the S's they go. Look how wide was the entry for Petr Čížek. He just tries to make his racing line as straight as possible. This car definitely not as sharp in the turning as the rivals. But look at this, Adam Kout. He didn't manage to overtake Čížek, and now he's coming under pressure from Petr Fulín. And out of turn 2 they go again. Adam Kout with the new and fresh breath right now. He lost a little bit of momentum coming across the line. That's why he was immediately attacked by Fulin. But then he negotiated the first and second corners pretty well, and he's now back on the rear wing of the Zizek's Cupra. Yet again through the chicane they go. And the pair of Hondas is also not that far behind. But look at Aramco diving down the inside into the last corner, and Petr Fulin immediately launching an attack himself. There was a contact, and that made Fulin lose momentum. Petr Cížek trying to fight back with Adam Kout. But Kout holding on to that newly acquired 4th place. So he's not really letting Cížek through. Adam Kout in 4th, Cížek 5th, Fulin 6th. Behind them René Kirche and David Kajaya. And this might actually be interesting to watch. Teammates up until the last season, now both in different squads. It's the brand new Express Auto racing team that Petr Cížek formed together with Vít Smejkal. We already mentioned that Smejkal could not be here this weekend, unfortunately, due to health issues. So we wish him speedy recovery, and we hope that he will be back and actually able to finally start his season at the end of the month in Hungary. This is Ivars Valers, a Lithuanian racing driver, joining the field as well. Car number 21, that's Karol Wittke, in the fight with Giacomo Germandi. That's a fight for 10th place. But let's actually see how it unravels between Cížek and Fulin, because they crossed the line only 3.5 tenths apart from each other. So let's get back to that fight. And in the meantime, we also have Maťo Homola closing in on the second placed Tobias Pošík. They are now less than a second away from each other. So that should be interesting to watch as well. Karol Wittke attacking Giacomo Germandi. That's for P10. Germandi blocking him on the straight into the triple. But let's see what happens between Cížek and Fulin, and let's also see what happens between Pošík and Homola. Cížek still ahead of Fulin. No immediate chance there. And entering the start and finish straight right now are Tobias Pošík and Maťo Homola. This is already a close fight for second. In the black and blue Audi RS3, that's Tobias Pošík. Currently not on our cameras, that's the colorful Audi. That's Giacomo Germandi under pressure from Karol Wittke. Another fight for P10, and Cížek has now dropped down the order. Something happened with Petr Cížek, so Petr Fulin is through. He's up to 5th, also with René Kirche and also with David Kajaya, and suddenly Cížek finds himself down in 8th. What happened there with the Czech driver? There must have been a fight between Cížek and Fulin, and that somehow resulted in Cížek losing 2 further places as well. And there's also a fight between Aditis Racing's Pošík and Maťo Homola. And Maťo Homola seems to be already through on Tobias Pošík. Yeah, so Karlo Čepiel in the lead. And Maťo Homola has already moved up into 2nd place. Tobias Pošík in 3rd. Then Adam Kout in 4th, Petr Fulin 5th. Then you've got Kirche and Kajaya, Čížek in 8th, Steibl 9th, and Germande in 10th. So this is the race leader, Karlo Čepiel. His car looking really tail happy through the S's. Car number 32 now comfortably in the lead, enjoying 7 seconds on the road from his teammate Maťo Homola, who is now in in 2nd. 3rd is now Pošík, because Homola has already dealt with him. That's David Kajaya in 7th place. Okay, and across the line goes Karlo Čepiel. The time is up. So Karlo Čepiel has now started the last lap of the race, and he still enjoys a 7.5 second lead over this man. That's the race one winner, Maťo Homola. Tobias Pošík behind him in 3rd. And there he is, Karlo Čepiel. Only half of the lap left for him. Čepiel, he is a proper debutant, proper junior, because up until now he's only done go-karts, and this is his big racing debut in the tin top cars, as they are called. Karlo Čepiel said before the season, I would like it if at the end of the season the paddock knows who Karlo Čepiel is. Well, Karlo, we are going to know already at the end of the first race weekend. Karlo Čepiel is the race winner here at Oschersleben. Welcome, paddock, this is me. The car number 32 victorious, and it's a full sweep for Janík Motorsport in the season opener. Maťo Homola victorious in race number 1 from Adam Kout in 3rd. And in race number 2 they have managed to go one better, because it is Karlo Čepiel taking the victory, and Maťo Homola coming home in 2nd to score a momentous 1-2 for Janík Motorsport. Tobias Pošík from 3rd on the grid finishes 3rd on the road, so a great race in the previous generation Audi as well for the young Austrian, last year's Renault Clio Cup champion Tobias Pošík. Great drive, he did all he could, but he was simply unable to withstand the pressure from the 2 Hyundais. Still 3rd on the road. That's a very, very good result for him for the season debut as well. Adam Kout making it 1-2-4. So very, very nearly a perfect race for Janík Motorsport. 4th place for the Czech driver. And behind them, Petr Fulin. He was trying to mirror and shadow Yannick Motorsport cars and actually come through the field with them. And he ends up 5th on the road. In P6, it's René Kircher, the local driver. 7th place, David Kajaya. Petr Čížek, having started from the front row of the grid, finishes 8th on the road. 9th place, Sebastian Steibel, who was 4th on the grid. And then Giacomo Germandi taking the last place in the top 10. Behind him, Karol Wittke, Ivars Valers, Antonio Citera, Adam Řepecký, Sebastian Kolakovský, Radim Adamek, and the only casualty of the race, actually, Žarko Knego, having started from pole. And as I mentioned, the Croatian driver simply cannot catch a break. And it seems that the races he starts from pole are extremely unlucky for him. He found himself in the barrier on lap 2, and from then on, it was actually a misery, unfortunately. So he is still waiting for his first victory. So is Petr Čížek, but who has managed to score his first win in his career, and also of the season, and also of the weekend, and also of any form of car racing, Carlo Cepiel. Only 18 years old, coming from go-karts. So it's a clean sweep for Yannick Motorsport here at Oschersleben. Carlo Cepiel, victorious on his debut. And now we can say that the paddock will know your name. Don't worry about that. Maťo Homola in 2nd, Tobias Pošík 3rd. Also, great race for the young Austrian. Adam Koten, Petr Fulin 4th and 5th. And the rest of the top 10, as you see, René Kircher, David Kajaya, Petr Čížek, Sebastian Steibel, and Giacomo Germandi. So, what an eventful TCR Eastern European race. As usual, even at the track, that is not that much suitable for overtakes. And in 3 weeks' time, we'll be racing again in Hungary, and that should be fun as well. So, thank you very much for watching. Do not run away very far still, because there is still one more race remaining on the Sunday racing program here for the season opener, and that is, of course, the second race of the Renault Clio, and we'll be back with it in just a couple of minutes.